right now. While you're watching this video, there is a very good chance that the AI tool you use today is reading your business data, training on it, storing it, and you agreed to this. You just did not know it. I want you to do something right now. Open any major AI tool on your phone, ChatGPT, Claude Gemini. Go to Settings, find the Privacy or Data section. Look for anything that says Improve Models or Training. Is it on or off? If you did not consciously turn it off, it is probably on. And if it is on, every client email you drafted, every business strategy you wrote, every customer name you mentioned, may already be inside a training pipeline, building the next version of the model you are paying for. This video covers what is actually happening, what each major AI tool does with your data, and 5 things you need to do this week to protect your business. Stay until the end. The fix is simpler than you think. Let me give you some context first, because this is not a small problem. In 2026, 40% of organizations have already experienced an AI-related privacy incident. 40%. That is not a future risk. That is happening right now. AI-related privacy incidents surged 56% in just the past year, and only 47% of people globally trust AI companies to protect their personal data. Here is the part that matters for your business specifically. According to OpenAI's own data, 27% of all ChatGPT consumer messages in June 2025 were work-related. Nearly 1 in 3 conversations, the vast majority, were happening on personal free accounts, not secure business accounts, personal accounts. Default settings left unchanged. A Stanford researcher, Jennifer King, Privacy and Data Policy Fellow at Stanford HAI, studied the privacy policies of 6 major US AI companies. Her conclusion was direct, quote, "Absolutely yes. If you share sensitive information in a dialogue with ChatGPT, Gemini, or other frontier models, it may be collected and used for training, even if it is in a separate file you uploaded during the conversation, even the file you attached, not just what you typed, the file." And here is the most alarming part. Once your data has been used to train a model, it cannot be fully removed. You can delete your chat history, but if that conversation was already used in a training run, it is embedded in the model. You cannot pull it back out, ever. Most people think of AI tools in 2 categories, free and paid. But the reality is 3 completely different tiers, each operating under different rules. Understanding this is the most important thing in this entire video. Tier 1. Free plans. ChatGPT free, Claude free, Gemini free. On these plans, your data is used to train the next model by default. You can opt out, but the opt-out is buried in settings, and most people never find it. Think of it this way. On a free plan, you are not the customer. You are the product. Your conversations are the data that makes the model smarter for everyone else. Tier 2. Paid individual plans. This is the dangerous tier. This is where people feel safe, and they are not. If you are paying $20 a month for ChatGPT Plus, Claude Pro, or Gemini Advanced, most people assume that paying means privacy, that a subscription means protection. It does not. ChatGPT Plus defaults to training on your data. You can opt out, but you have to manually do it. Every new account starts opted in. Claude Pro. In September 2025, Anthropic updated its consumer terms. They sent a pop-up to millions of users with a large black accept button and a small toggle below it. Preset to On. Giving Anthropic permission to use conversations for training for up to 5 years. If you clicked Accept without reading carefully, you opted in. Gemini Advanced. Conversations saved for 18 months by default. Used to improve Google models. And because Gemini integrates with the entire Google ecosystem, your AI conversations may be merged with your search history, your Gmail activity, and your YouTube behavior. On screen, Tier 3, Business and Enterprise. Actually protected. Tier 3, Business and Enterprise Plans. This is where real privacy begins. ChatGPT team, $30 per user per month. Contractually prohibits training on your data, not just a toggle, a contract. Claude team, $25 per user per month. Same contractual guarantee. No training on customer content. And then there is the API, which I will come back to, because the API is actually the most private option of all. And most AI subscribers do not know it exists. Let me go tool by tool, so you know exactly where you stand. ChatGPT. OpenAI Privacy Policy Effective. January 2026 covers ChatGPT, DALL-E, and all consumer services. By default, your conversations are used to train their models. You can opt out in Settings under Data Controls. Turn off Improve the model for everyone. Do this right now if you have not. But even if you opt out, OpenAI retains your data for up to 30 days for safety and abuse monitoring. That 30-day window still exists, and if you connect ChatGPT to third-party tools, when ChatGPT accesses your calendar to schedule a meeting, it sees all your calendar data, not just the meeting you asked about. Everything the integration can access. The only way to get full contractual protection with OpenAI is ChatGPT Team or Enterprise. Claude. The September 2025 policy update is critical. Anthropic changed defaults for all consumer users. They introduced a training toggle preset to On. Users who allowed data use, 5-year retention. Users who turned it off, 30-day retention. However, the Claude API tells a completely different story. As of September 14th, 2025, standard API log retention was reduced from 30 days to just 7 days, and data sent via the API is never used for training. 7-day retention, never trained on. That is one of the strictest policies in the entire industry. Gemini. Gemini has the most complex data situation of the three, because of how deeply it integrates with the rest of Google's ecosystem. Consumer tier. Conversations saved for 18 months by default. You can reduce this to 3 months. Google human reviewers may examine conversations. And if you have Gemini extensions enabled, the data Gemini sees when completing tasks for you may be processed and stored. Gemini Workspace, accessed through Google Business Plans, comes with contractual guarantees that consumer Gemini does not. If you are using Gemini with your personal Google account, even on Gemini Advanced, you are on consumer terms, no contract, no guaranteed protection. The API, the option, nobody talks about. For all 3 major tools, when you access them through the API rather than the consumer interface, the rules change completely. OpenAI API, your data is not used for training by default. Anthropic API, commercial API data is explicitly excluded from training. Google Vertex AI, Google contractually guarantees your data is not used to train their foundation models. The API is the most private way to use these tools. And as we discussed in an earlier video on this channel, it is often cheaper than a monthly subscription for moderate users. Privacy and cost savings. That is the insider move. Okay, here's the part that actually matters. What do you do about this? 5 actions. This week, in order of priority. Action 1. Turn off training on every AI tool you use. Today, ChatGPT, settings then, data controls. Then turn off improve the model for everyone. Claude, settings. Then privacy. Settings, then find the model training toggle, then turn it off. Gemini activity. Then turn it off. Then set auto delete to 3 months. Do this before you watch anything else today. It takes 4 minutes across all 3 tools. 4 minutes. Action 2. Stop pasting client data into consumer accounts immediately. Any client name, email, contract detail, or business information. Stop putting this into free or paid individual plans. If you need AI for client work, you need a team or enterprise plan with contractual protections. ChatGPT Team is $30 per user per month. Claude Team is $25 per user per month. That contract is worth every dollar if you handle sensitive client data. Action 3. Consider the API for sensitive work. If you want maximum privacy at minimum cost, the API is your answer. 7-day retention on Anthropic's API, never used for training. We covered exactly how to set this up in a previous video on this channel. Action 4. Audit what you have already shared. Go through your recent chat history on every AI tool. Look at what client data you have pasted in. Delete those conversations. And if anything you shared falls under CCPA or HIPAA protection, please speak to a qualified attorney about your obligations. This is not legal advice, but it is a conversation you need to have. Action 5. Tell your team. If you have employees or contractors using personal AI accounts for business work, they need to know this today. Create one simple rule. Business data goes in business accounts only. Personal stays personal. This is not about fear. This is about knowing what you agreed to and making smarter decisions with that knowledge. Your data is valuable. The AI companies know that. Now you do too. If this video helped you, subscribe to Play Behind AI. This is exactly the kind of insider information I publish every week. The stuff buried in the terms of service that nobody reads. Comment below which AI tool you are using right now, and I will tell you the exact setting to change first.